Hey everybody, Richard Blissbrook here, and I have, for the second time in my career, the extraordinary opportunity of interviewing Mr. Simon Chan, who is one of the most prolific, extraordinary network marketing coaches in the profession around the world. We're going to have an exciting time today. You're going to learn tons of things, awesome nuggets. This is a guy who's done it. He has built his own extraordinarily successful team in USANA, big team in USANA, one of the most successful legacy companies in our profession. And for the last, 4, 5, 6 years, Simon has been sharing how he did that with tens of thousands of people around the world that are doing it in other awesome companies. So Simon, welcome to the Bliss Business Global Influencer interview.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. Time flies. I still remember our first one. I don't remember much about it. All I remember was a ton of fun, and we talked for a long time, and it was cool.
Well, you're actually the first person, Simon, that I ever interviewed for this series, Global Influencer, which is people inside and outside the network marketing profession that just have high impact on entrepreneurs of all walks of life that are looking to build something big themselves. And so I appreciate you being my first interview. I look back at all the people I interviewed since then, and I thought, you know what? It's been a while since I caught up with Simon and what he's doing. I see you all over the world, mostly in Southern California, being a dad and a husband. But hey, tell us, Mr. Chan, what have you been up to? What's new in your life? What are you excited about? And what have you got to contribute to our audience?
Well, I think the last time we were on the show, I was talking to Kim before. She said, "Do you have 2 kids?" I said, "No, I think I have 3." Then I realized the last time I only had 2 kids. So it's really been awesome, thanks to network marketing. Since we last talked, I've probably been lazier and spending lots of time with my boys, starting like in 2016 towards the end. I grew up as a huge sports fan, and, I grew up in an upper middle class family, but I never had really much time with my dad. He made the American dream, came over as an immigrant from Hong Kong, became a doctor, made good money. We had 3 Mercedes at one point in the place in Brooklyn, New York, but never had much time with him. I was a huge baseball fan. I wanted to go to the Yankees games, and I saw all these kids, play baseball with my dad. My dad did it for a short time, and he was just too busy. So now, my kids are finally old. They're 8, 6, and 3, almost 4. 2 years ago, my son, I was like, if you like sports, you like sports. If he doesn't, he really got into sports. He started with T-ball, and so I basically feel like I've been living my youth again. He loves baseball, so we've been doing baseball 5, 6, 7 days a week for the last 2.5 years. Just working on fundamentals and just hitting. And right now he's 8. He's playing up 9U, and I've got into coaching. I was just like, let me see how this acts as a helper. But I get a big kick out of it. Just like coaching network marketers, coaching kids, teaching them values. And a lot of the values I teach the kids are, the fundamental network marketing values. That's why I'm so grateful about the profession. I always believe, 3 things about this profession. Number 1, allows us to fulfill our unlimited potential. I never thought like a shy, quiet Asian kid from Brooklyn, New York, be on stage sharing. Network marketing allows us to give back more, just the way you have given back so much, Rich. And also network marketing allows us to be better parents, right? Because if you want to be successful, the attitude, the principles, the values are very, very important. So just even like my Little League teams, the number 1 rule is you got to have a positive attitude. Right? Doesn't matter if we win. That's our rule. If you have a bad attitude, you're sitting on a bench. And I also teach you number 2 is, what's the first thing? I teach my son this. What's the first thing you do before you do anything? It's you visualize. And it comes right from your book, Mach 2, Head on Fire. You see it. If you don't see yourself becoming successful, if you see yourself striking out, guess what? You are going to strike out. If you see yourself hitting the ball, chances are you do much, much better than if you see yourself. So it's been a blast. I got into coaching basketball too, so I'm coaching helping out with a travel team right now. And then in December, coaching 2 basketball teams. And then in the spring, coaching 2 Little League baseball teams as well. So, and then on top of MLM Nation and just, giving value, helping out. And I could talk a little bit more about the profession, how I've seen the profession change, but I know I have to shut up or else I'll talk forever. And you won't never ask me any questions.
I'll ask you a few questions. Hey, one of the questions I think everybody probably wants to know is, how did you discover network marketing to begin with? How did you get recruited? And what compelled you to join?
Well, I'm one of the few rare ones, really, really rare. I've talked to literally tens of thousands of network marketers. So only recently I met someone kind of like me. I actually was in the right place at the right time. I always say you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. And you also can't say the right thing to the wrong person, right? So I think one thing that stops a lot of network marketers is like, we're trying to, we learn by taking action. Like personal development is important, but so many people are stuck in, I got to get it down right. I got to be perfect. Like perfectionism is the main obstacle to success, trying to get it perfect. So you get the perfect presentation and then you talk to someone who just gave birth last night. Doesn't matter what type of presentation, doesn't matter. Richard Brooke is presenting for you, that person is not going to join. So for me, I was the opposite end. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, realized an ex-girlfriend gave me a book. At that time, I had a job. I thought it was cool. I didn't make much money. She never kind of respected my job. I was working with professional athletes. And then she said, you got to read this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. And when I read that book, I was like, oh, okay. Now I can see where she's coming from because I'm having a great time. But I was making no money, no passive income. So Rich Dad Poor Dad led to like other books, Robert Allen. I heard about this thing called network marketing. And I was like, some people say this is a negative perception. I was like, network marketing, that's marketing computer networks. What's so bad about that? It's like IT, right? And then I read more about it. People keep talking about network marketing. And I think, well, if these people like, best-selling authors are talking about it, if Warren Buffett's investing in these type of companies, it must be legit. So I read books like Network Marketing for Dummies. I wasn't a dummy. All these books. And I was like, wow, Wave 4, Network Marketing by Richard Poe. I said, wow, this is legit. And but I was still very skeptical. I want to join a company that was been around for a while. And I Googled and just put company name Los Angeles. It came up and I called a random person. Like, I want to sign up. How do I join? That's how it started.
Amazing. Well, I love it. You actually researched it and you found the right books and you found the right mentors and you had a positive attitude. And then you went on to crush it. How many years did you build USANA?
Well, I didn't. I wouldn't say I really crushed it at the beginning. I struggled for months because I lacked. I say the number one skill all network marketers, and some people say it's communications, relationships. It's really learning to be consistent on your own. Consistency. So I struggled for months, and it wasn't until I had someone to help me become consistent, I started getting my first check. And then from there, my first took me 2.5 years to hit a full-time income. And so I wasn't the smartest. I saw a lot of people, went past me. And I was like, what? How does that person do better than me? But it took me 2.5 years. It took me about like 3-4 years to get a 6-figure income. And then like before we started the show, I got lucky. I went to Malaysia. I did okay there, but I made a ton of mistakes. And then I always had a vision. That's why going to company events is so important. I always tell people the aha moments at company event. I went to a company event in 2004, and that convention, like there's so many Asians there. I was like, wow, I look at myself, I'm Asian, even though I'm American, but I want to grow a business in Asia. It would be exciting to travel, and I'm young, and I know kids travel and all that stuff. So I had a vision to grow in Asia. So when the company opened in Malaysia, I was one of the first ones there, made a ton of mistakes. It should have done way, way better. We did bring in 400 people in the first month, but a lot of people quit, a lot of mistakes. And then when the Philippines opened up, I've been doing online marketing since 2004. Did Facebook ads way back in 2008. And by the way, I'm not recommending anyone to do Facebook ads, right? It's just like, unless you are like a full-time leader or want to do something, it's not duplicatable, it doesn't work. But for me at that time, I found a way to, it was very cheap back then too. Now Facebook ads is literally 10 10,000 times more expensive. But back in 08, 07, it was really cheap. Just got started. Facebook was about to go public. And we got like 10,000 leads really cheap. And I sponsored 33 of them, and they all quit, except for maybe one or two customers. But one guy just got lucky. One guy became a superstar, brought in all these $1 million club members.
Yeah. Well, it's like this. Your sponsor, Simon, if we were to interview your sponsor, they have a similar story. They sponsored a lot of people, and almost all of them quit, but you didn't. And then you went out and sponsored a lot of people, and they almost all quit, but that one person didn't. And, you say you're lucky, but it seems to me, Simon, the harder you worked, the better your attitude, the more you learned, the more you were willing to make mistakes and keep swinging away at the pitches, the luckier you got.
Well, you definitely need luck to make it really big. But I'll put a big asterisk. Only the people who work super, super hard get lucky. No one else gets lucky. No one else gets lucky. But you work super, super hard, you will get lucky once or twice, and that's all you need. But, for everything that worked, I can name so many ideas that did not work. I mean, I even now think back to the lamest ideas. Remember back then there was the iPods, right? And college kids love iPods. I thought about if you recruited, I was going to do meetings at USC campus. One of my kind of god brothers going to sign them up, and we're going to do meetings to students. And if they more than 4 people, we'll give them a free iPod. Like that would draw people to crowds, right? And we calculated out if you bring in 4 people, they sign up, I would actually make enough from commission to buy them like an iPod Shuffle. And then I had all these posters, even called I even bought a domain, the appleteam.com, all this stuff. Spent all this time up there, and then we recruited 0 people. It never worked, right? Actually, my god brother who was going to sign up backed out. So that goes that way. So I did so many thinking back. And, the business is really simple. I try to complicate it, but if you work hard enough, you'll get lucky. But I want to add one more thing. You said my sponsor got lucky. He did get lucky, but there's a lesson, though, because luck only works 2 parts. You got to get lucky. You got to keep at it. So he found me, and I struggled for months. Companies are binary, so he wasn't making much money. He had one strong leg, one leg wasn't doing much, and so he quit. He actually went to another company.
Oh my God!
And he tried to do unethical things. He tried to take the team and bring over, and then he was trying to cover it up. But we had all on AOL instant messaging. They turned him in. He got terminated, and then after he got, so I had someone else that was upline that came in. This guy seems pretty hungry. Let me work with him. This guy Steve. So after my upline got terminated, before then, I never made more like $100 a month. $100 a month. After he got terminated, I made my first $1,000. A month later, I made $1,000 in 1 week. Sometimes like I think and grow rich. The gold is right there. You just keep digging. Stay focused.
So, an interesting exercise, Simon, would be to figure out how much money your original sponsor has lost and will lose in the lifetime of what you built.
Yeah, I calculated that. He had one leg in Japan. At that time, it was like 80-something people. Grew out to be a couple hundred people. He would be making, including bonuses, like $75,000 to $80,000 a year, doing nothing. And that has been since 2000. So when I started building what he earning, we starting 2005, since 2005. So that's like 14 years, 14 times 80
lost
grand.
Millions.
Yeah, millions. He's lost millions already just from that. 80,000 a year for 14 years because he tried the grass is greener.
Have you ever tracked to look at his network marketing career? Is he even still in the profession?
Oh, okay. So when he got started, he left, right? Then, by the way, I was tempted to leave because he was tempted because the shiny object syndrome. I'm just struggling. I was like, wow, so much easier. And I said, I made a promise to myself before. I used to have this date, November 14th, 2018, right? Because that was the date. 5 years there. I read in Network Marketing for Dummies. If you stay in the business and build it consistently, 6-7 days a week, not like a hobby, but hardcore, you'll make a full-time income. So I said to myself, in 5 years, I am not going to quit. And that is November 14th, 2008. That'll be 5-year anniversary. If I don't make, now it's like 50,000 a year is too little. I need to make 100,000. If I don't make 100,000, I'm out of it. I'm done with network marketing. But if I quit before then, I'm basically cheating myself because the statistics show if you do it 5 years, every single day you make it. So he left, right? And he actually kept in touch with me for a little bit before I became a full-time. And I remember when he first tried to recruit me, he said, well, the compensation plan is way, way better. It is the best. The products are okay, not as good, but the pay plan is the best. And then he used to message me afterwards. I still remember, I was in Newport Beach. I was meeting a prospect. I was in Starbucks. And then after meeting a prospect, my wife, that's when we were dating, she was in the mall, and I was just going to go to Starbucks and do some work. And he messaged me back. He said, how's it going? So I'm doing pretty well. I'm at like $500 a week now. He said, what have you been up to? How's that company? And he said, well, you know what? I actually found something even better now. You can make up to $4,000 a week with no recruiting. Everything automated internet system. And this is and I'm like, my mentor told me, a loser is a loser. I'm like, oh my goodness, this guy, he hasn't learned yet. And after he kept in touch with me one more time after I built my business. Now after that, I think he just got depressed about all the money, millions he lost. I've never heard back from him again.
Yeah, it would be interesting. Do you remember the company that he left Usana to join?
Yes, I don't want to say the company name because it is a very, very, very good company.
Okay.
A $1 billion company. If he stayed in that company, I might as well say it's Isogenics, right?
Okay, great.
If he stayed with Isogenics, he would be actually making 6 figures now.
Yeah, for sure.
He came in early. He came with good uplines as well. He brought people over. If he stuck at it, he probably would have made $1 million in Isogenics. But 18 months, he's on to some other internet deal that is like, you don't need to do any recruiting and automate it, and you just sit back and make $4,000 a week.
So he left $2 billion legacy companies for some stupid deal that's not even here anymore.
Exactly. The one thing I learned from my mentor was I thought he was I just call him Lucky Dave, right? Lucky Dave. So the Lucky Dave, I thought he was a leader because by the way, he was a nice guy. He wasn't like a jerk. He was always helpful, but he wasn't hardcore. He wasn't he just laid back, not building the business. And I asked my mentor, Steve, hey, Lucky Dave, he's a leader. And I remember this. This is when I was new. I looked up to Lucky Dave because he helped me. He's like, Lucky Dave is no leader. He sponsors 9 people a year. What leader sponsors only 9 people a year? That to me, that's not a leader. I was like, and this is when I was just struggling to get 1 or 2 signups. Like 9, that seemed like a lot to me. He's like, no, you got to be recruiting how about 3 or 4 people a month? And at that time, I never got it until later on. You're right. 9 people a year, that's not a leader.
So, Simon, how have you seen the profession change over the years? Some people, even 4 or 5 years ago, all they had to do was tell their story on Facebook and everybody joined. But there's a season, and our profession just constantly evolves into different seasons. What do you see now as the season? What's the most important things that people need to be doing now to succeed that maybe they weren't doing 5 or 10 years ago, or even some things 5 or 10 years ago that don't work anymore?
Well, network marketing is always evolving because it's business, and business is always changing, right? So everything changes the business, the economy, what's happening in with the politics. This always affects it trickles down to our profession. Technology is a big part of it. So we all know how social media has played a big role. I'll say 2 or 3 things. Number one is everyone knows someone that has been successful in network marketing now. Now, they may not want to do network marketing, but through social media, everyone knows someone. So back in say 10 years ago, before Facebook, you tell people on network marketing, you'd be like, oh, I don't know about this. But now, even my friends who don't know anything about it, they call it, they're ignorant. They call it pyramid scheme. They know someone, a friend of a friend or a friend that's made a lot of money. Now, they may not want to do it, but they know it works. So it's accepted. But back then, it was harder. So back then, it was hard to convince people to join. But once they joined, it was much easier to keep them in the team. because the only communication they got was basically from the upline. So they're kind of in the bubble, or some people say it was a cult. They're in the bubble. They're protected. They hear only from what their uplines tell, like an Amway. They only hear from so they're feeding positivity. Nowadays, because of social media, you're easier to sign up because they see all the great pictures, they get excited, but it's really hard to keep people because the grass is greener mentality, right? Like back then, we talked about my upline. I never heard of isogenics, but he told me that, by the way, I couldn't even name more than 5 companies. I think I knew like Amway, I knew Herbalife, I knew USANA, I knew ICG. I didn't know any other companies because that's it. Now you go to social media, you can hear about any type of struggle. People start looking at other ways, right?
Yeah.
So you see a lot of people. The attrition is high. It's hard to keep people. It's a challenge for leaders to really create that culture to keep people in. The second thing is back then it used to be a lack of training. So I was in my company and I learned everything from the leaders. There's nothing else to learn. So I went to buy CDs, right? So I bought the CD. I still remember my first CD with Big Al. It had, Jerry Clark. And it was like $100. I was like, 100. I never bought a CD for more than $15. Like a music CD, $100. And it was a 10 CD set, and I'll listen to it over and over again until I applied it. And then I actually got a lot of that. That $100 CD made me a lot of money. Nowadays, there's so much training out there, and all excellent training, but it overwhelms people. So the problem is the lack of action and consistency. And, we're all lazy. Our DNA is all lazy. We're just lazy caveman, cavewoman. That's our DNA. We just want to, I would say the caveman, you and I were guys. So caveman, we just want to sit there, sleep in a hammock. The only time we'll wake up was either we're hungry, the tiger came, or someone took our woman. That's the only time will get us to action, right? That's our DNA. So when it comes to prospecting, which is kind of scary, you take the path of least resistance, right? There's two things. There's action and motion. Action is the income-producing activities. The motion is, there's a great Facebook training, and then go watch it again. The next thing, your whole night is over, especially you're part-time, and you did nothing.
Right.
So that's a big part. That's why, my mission is to help people create consistency, defeat that overwhelm, because all this new stuff, even today, I'm not going to say the name, I just got an email that said, how do you use TikTok to grow your business? I was like, now, you don't even know TikTok. I never used TikTok yet, so that tells you how old we are, Richard. TikTok is this new video app that you can create. I don't even know how everything is, TikTok to grow your business. Like, if you are building, you have the tools like Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. Just choose one and be good at it. But you're struggling. So these people, of course, they want to make money. Oh, TikTok, let me go download it. And next thing, you waste an hour of your time. You could have used that hour to build your business instead of trying to learn this new technology. So we're in the distraction economy. The distractions are endless, and we really need to stay focused. And my belief, my vision, what I believe in, I believe everyone, Richard, can earn a part-time income in network marketing. Yes. Everyone. It's simple. It's built like this. Why? Because it's simple. It's not meant for you to be like a CEO, PhD to do it. And we have social media now. And now, that means if you're watching this, you already right now are good enough to earn a part-time income. Now, if you want to say you want to become like a Richard Brooke or be a superstar leader, you need to go through, you want to be a full-time leader, you got to do lots of personal development transformation. But to earn a couple $100 a month, you're good enough. You just have to talk to people. Even if you just talk and say to them, you have no idea what you're talking about, you're going to find a couple people. So that's my mission, and my that's my belief, and my mission is to help 1,000 people get to $1,000 a month by next year. Without competition now, you're talking about change. Back then, when we first started, it was like network marketing was the hero. Corporate America was like the evil, right? All corporate America, your JOB, you're just over broke. Now the competition is not the job, because most people don't stay at jobs. They don't believe in jobs. The competition is what we call the gig economy. It's like the freelancers, the 1099s. The Uber driver, the person who's on Fiverr doing some graphic design work for you, right? They're doing all these, or selling on eBay, affiliate selling on Amazon. That's the competition, right? Because those people, and a lot of times we say our business is a part-time business. The problem is most people are not making a part-time income. So that's why they're going, I'd rather drive Uber. For, my nanny, her husband's driving Uber. The funny thing is her husband, their daughter does network marketing. But instead of joining his daughter to do network marketing, she rather drives Uber.
Right. Because you don't have to risk, you don't have to grow. You just press the app and then drive your car. You don't even have to talk to the person in the back seat.
Exactly. But that's what I feel like if we can get, and my mission is it's not like 100,000 people, 1,000. If by next year, okay, by the end of next year, Rich, a year from now, if I can get 1,000 people to $1,000 a month, think of it, we have 1,000 more raving fans.
Yeah.
And that multiplies, right? That snowballs on social media. And that's my mission.
Yeah, that's a beautiful vision. So what are you doing, Simon? What are your programs? How are you getting to those 1,000 people and coaching them? What have you got to offer people?
Well, we still have our podcast, which is up to almost 600 episodes now. And out of the 600 episodes, they always talk about the number one skill is consistency, right? Consistent. You talk about common themes. People ask, what are the things you learn? It's not the social media strategies. It's two things. Consistency. You have a routine, consistency, and also they go to events.
Yep.
Those are the things. For us, we have the podcast. You can go to MLMNation.com, and I started a community called Purpose-Driven Networkers. Right? You're all driven by purpose. So your purpose greater than money, where I prospect with people, with the members 11 times a week. Right?
Wow.
So we have 2 live sessions on Zoom where we prospect. So it'll be like, right now, we're going to spend 5 minutes on meeting people online. So, Rich, get your phone out. We're going to prospect together. And I just monitor it, and we have a tracking system, stuff like, and it makes it fun. Because, the reality is when we do, and this is just humans, when we do things with other people, we're more consistent, right?
Yeah.
When you meet a friend to the gym, you will show up. If you actually meet a couple of friends to the gym, you actually will work out better and have fun. So we make that prospecting fun. So that's what we have is purposedrivennetworkers.com.
That's beautiful. Purposedrivennetworkers.com. You're actually functioning, Simon, like a very hands-on, powerful upline leader for everybody that's in the program.
Yeah, because I wanted to, in the past, I've evolved as well. I wanted to, back then, I think part of it evolving was I was speaking a lot at events. And then because of the baseball, I stopped doing events for a long time. Yep. I haven't been at ANMP. I really, really miss ANMP, right? But ANMP, for some reason, it's the same weekend as a Little League championship. So that's what I missed the last 3 years. But I felt that, I want to do something. If I really want to, because I said to myself, our purpose-driven network is $10 a month, right? Because I said to myself, I was doing a lot of soul searching. I was like, because my wife asked me, why do you want to do this stuff? A lot of people don't make any money. Do you really believe network marketing is that good? Or maybe it works for you, Simon, but does it really? I was like, you know what? I believe not everyone can be a full-time leader. Theoretically, they can, but in terms, they have to go through massive transformation. But everyone can earn a part-time income. Everyone can do it. And I think, well, if I wanted to help them, it's a lot of work for me. But I do it at home. We're all on Zoom. Like, I'll take back to the Simon back in 2003. Right now, of course, I invest in thousands of dollars of courses, mastermind coaching. But back then, my first book was $7.99. I was too cheap to buy anything more. And it's like, well, what can I make to the new distributor? And I was like $10 a month for me to help them and to get all these prospects. That's something everyone can do, right? So that's why I really started thinking I wanted to make, I would say my purpose to have a positive impact. When we start charging $4,700, am I really having a positive impact? So one thing we did, we took all our prices, dropped them way down. And we lost a lot, for our business, we lost a lot of money on that. But I figured, hey, if I really want to create a legacy, that's the way to do it.
Yeah. So if I want to make $1,000 a month, Simon, and I'm in a legitimate company, and I'm starting from scratch, and let's say you're my sponsor, what are you going to have me do every day, every week, every month? And how long is it going to take me to make $1,000 a month? And I realize that's not a fair question because you don't know the company or the products and you don't know me. I'm just average Joe, probably a woman, looking to make some extra money for my family. What's the program you're going to put me on?
So we have the DMO, right? This is the checklist of what we need to do. And you can go to MLMNation.com. You can download the DMO there. But before I talk about the DMO, if I recruited you right? When is a new distributor most excited? They're most excited the second they sign up, right? That's when we think, we're going to make $1 million in 2-3 years, right? We're going to make $1,000 for the next month. After that, everything goes downhill because you get rejection, and then all our dreams starts being shattered. Even like if you're listening, watching this, you're making a good income. I bet you're still not as excited today as the day you signed up. Right. Now, especially the longer you're in the business, you're like, all these headaches of downlines quitting, or companies' orders are back order. You didn't know anything about this stuff the day you pressed the submit button. So right. I'm going to have you, like if you just signed up, Rich, you're excited, right? I said, Rich, do you have 20 or 30 minutes? I know you got to go. I know Kimmy's asking, but you give me 20, 30 minutes and I can help you make a couple $100.
Oh, good. Let's do that.
He's excited, right? So I'll basically teach you exactly what to say, copy and paste his text and send to 10 of your friends, right? So the message is, hey, you're one of my best friends. I need your advice and opinion on something. I'm working with this guy, Simon. I'm super excited, but can you just talk to him for 2 minutes and let me know what you think?
The advice approach.
Because no one likes to hear about opportunity, but everyone loves to give advice, right? So if you send that to 10 of your friends will say, sure, what is it? And then if I'm with you, you pass the phone to me and I'll talk. I talk for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, kind of give them a brief overview and ask them, do you want to learn more? If they want to learn more, we can send them a video or do a Zoom. If they're not interested, we say, thank you. Thank you for the advice, right? So if you do like 10 of these calls, how many three-way calls do you think we could get, Rich? Do 10 of them.
Well, if I send text messages out today, I can get three-way calls. 3, right?
So now you go back, and then you go back home, and then Kimmy's like, what did you do, Rich? No one's interested in that type of stuff. No one's going to, but you're going to go down a little bit, but you'll be, wait, that's not true. No one's interested because I got three-way calls to Simon. We have meetings set up. See, you already kind of bulletproof. You protect you in the shell. So you have a quick win. A win doesn't need to be a new customer. A win is like someone expressed interest. So then tomorrow I go, hey, Rich, you want to get together? We can do a couple more prospecting. You probably say, sure, because we get that quick win. So that's what immediately I'll work with you. By the way, one of my friends in Hong Kong, Hong Kong's a very small city. He did this in his company. He would sign up someone at the company office, and he said, you know what? Give me your phone. Let's talk to a couple people. And Hong Kong's everything's in 30, 40-minute subway ride, right? Within 4 or 5 hours, that new distributor signed up 4 or 5 people already. By the end, and then, she had to go in 30 minutes, but once she started seeing meetings, she canceled all her family plans, just stayed in the office with the upline. And by the way, by the end of 8 hours, this is what my friend did. He just stayed in the office, and he's like $1 million club earner, tapping the China market. He just sits in the office, and by the end of the day, 8 hours, so he starts on Saturday morning. By Saturday during dinner time, that new distributor has duplicated and brought in like 7 people already. Because they work on enthusiasm, right? There's a knowledge, like enthusiasm on fire is better than knowledge on ice. They're getting people while they're hot. So anyway, for your listening, checklist, I want to call it a DMO, 35553. You can get this on MLMNation.com. First 3 is post 3 times a day, right? Posting 3 times a day. It doesn't need to be like, these lavish posts. Sharing what you learned. Maybe you're watching this, share something you learned here today, right? Share a quote, share a blog. Go to and if you don't know what, you can do a story. You can go to your team group and share something. Start practicing being a person of value giving. If you can't give it to your team, it's going to be even harder to give out to the public, to your prospects. Just go to your team Facebook group and start contributing, sharing. Just share something motivating. Get used to sharing 3 times a day. Second thing is you want to meet 5 new friends today, right? 5 new contacts on social media. Second, the other 5 is inviting 5. Simply is asking, hey, I'm working on something exciting. This may or may not be for you. Would you be open to taking a look? Right? They can say no's. It doesn't matter, but you get an invite out. Then the last 5 is 5 follow-ups. And then the last one is 3 is getting 3 people to look at a video. And whether 3 people do a Zoom, but 3 people's got to hear about the products of the company. 3 people. And if the first day you do this, you're probably not going to have 3. But if you do this for like a week and you're following up with old prospects, you keep following up, it's very, very easy to hit. So that basically how I came up with this was when I first started, I shared with you I struggled. One of my mentors he was a six-figure earner, and he said, like, Simon, I asked him, like, what do I need to do to get your income? He said, Simon, you recruit one person a week for the next 2 years, and your life will be set.
Yep.
So I said, all right, let me try this. Then I start keeping track of my numbers. That's like the geeky side. I have a spreadsheet, track every day, put on little numbers, stick figures, I'll track them. And that's the average is out. If you 3, 5, 5, 5, 3, if you do this over time, you get one recruit a week.
Yeah. So I don't know if you've ever heard this, Simon, but I have interviewed 110 people for the Network Marketing Heroes call. Those are people that are building. And they probably represent 10 or 15 different legacy companies, no startups, no flim-flam stuff, just real companies with real products. 102, and these are all people that earn between $25,000 and $400,000 a month. And they earn that money by their 5th, 6th, or 7th year. So they're not like, these aren't 30-year-old stories. These are people that basically built the 4-year career and maybe a little bit beyond. And out of 110 of them, Simon, 102 of them personally enrolled 80 to 100 people as business builders, not just customers, but at least they signed up saying, I want to build. Most of them didn't build, but there weren't just customers. 80 to 100 people in a 24-month period. That's the formula. Your sponsor had the secret formula.
Absolutely. You know, getting back to my mentor, my original sponsor, Upline, he was the one who quit. But the other guy, what I figured out was one time we were in Malaysia. I was creating the systems with one of my leaders doing all this stuff. And my leader, my upline, my mentor did nothing. And then he was making multiple 6 figures. And I was like, one day I was like, wait a second, John, you and I, we were doing all this trainings and stuff. Steve doesn't even do any of this stuff, but he earns way more than we do. Because all he did was sponsor like crazy. He's got me on one leg, Lynn on another leg, Chase on another leg, and that's all he did. And he's making multiple 6 figures, right? And I remember on the podcast when I interviewed Jordan Adler, guy wrote Beach Money, a legend, and he's like, even today, he's earning 7 figures. He's still recruiting 3, 4 people a month.
Right. That's the formula. And, of course, you got to do the work every day that leads up to that. And you nailed it early on. The difference between the people that make $1,000 a month or more and the ones that don't is consistency. Because anybody can do something for 2 or 3 days, but then if you get distracted or you get in a funk and you don't do anything for 2 or 3 days, well, then 2 or 3 days turns into 2 or 3 weeks. You got to start over. And, you know, starting over is harder the second time than it is starting for the first time. Consistency is everything.
It's way, way harder the second time because people are watching you, right? Like if you lack consistency, no one's respecting your business because a lot of people, the reality is they're waiting for you to fail. So once you stop consistency, they'll be like, I told you that would not work. Look at it, they're out of it already. And then you start up again and you stop again. People are not respecting your business. If you want to win, just start being consistent every day. And you don't need to be like all out. You know, I think there's people want intensity. Consistency is more important than intensity. You know, I teach consistency a little bit every day, but every single day. And over time, people used to ask me, especially my warm market. This is maybe like a 2 years in. They signed money. You still doing that MLM thing? You know what I say to them, Rich? Hey, you know me for a while since college. Am I a dumb guy? And they'll be like, oh, you're not dumb. No, of course not. Well, if it didn't work, why would I still be doing this? And by the way, I wasn't earning that much, but they just saw me. I'm still at it. I can still go to the events. I keep doing this. I keep talking about it. Eventually, like that, there's never a bad prospect, just the wrong time for the right prospect. Every prospect, you know this, Rich, every prospect will eventually join, be a customer, or give you a referral. Either one of those things.
Yep. And if they don't join you, they're going to join somebody else that follows
Absolutely. You got to let them know. Like the purpose of the list is to get them off, to let them know you have a business because sooner, like network marketing, like we talked about, is everywhere on social media. Eventually, someone else is going to approach them.
Yep, for sure. So besides 1,000 people making $1,000 a month. Anything exciting on your horizon in the next 3 or 4, 5, 6 months?
We've been doing these events called BYOB, so called Build Your Own Business. So not build your own beer, but we started these last year. Well, I went on a little tour. So it was right after the baseball season ended. We did like 10. I went to 10 cities, 10 weekends out of 14 weekends, just going to like back-to-back cities: Sydney, Melbourne, Australia, New Zealand, Auckland, LA, Dallas, Nashville. And these events where it's very little training, but more of hands-on, kind of like what you said. I'm like the upline. I make you prospect. So we're prospecting in the same room. If a prospect replies back, they don't know what to say, you just show me the phone, and I'll tell you reply back. So we got massive results there. And then but the problem is, because of my time, I couldn't go everywhere. So what we're doing now is we're doing these virtual, online BYOB, and I priced it like $25 early bird. Anyone can go in. I guarantee during the 4 hours, you get at least one interested prospect. And we work. There's not much training, because there's a lot of great training out there already. Well, I'm here to get people to work, kick in the butt and get to work.
Yeah, you're the ultimate virtual upline leader.
I never saw myself that way, but yeah, I guess so. It's a lot of fun when you see people who never had any results get something done. They're so excited. I actually have 2 people. Like even this weekend, I spoke at a team event, and we actually. Part of it's called a chicken list, right? The people you're scared. Everyone has someone scared to approach someone. And I said, you want to send this message? I put it on the screen. For 5 minutes, you got to send at least to 2 of your chicken list. And this person's like, oh, but you got to do it. And she did it. And it turned out one of them was her cousin, who's a former NBA player, who played in the NBA for like almost 10 years. And the person, I'm interested. What do you have? I was like, what do? You immediately get the upline. The upline's a 7-figure, get them connected. And she was so happy. It's just awesome to see that type of, when people get excited and believe in the profession again.
Yeah, that BYOB is a great idea, because sitting at home alone, people, they won't do much. But if you put them in a room, even a virtual room, and say, hey, okay, for the next 30 minutes or the next 4 hours, let's do this. Let's all do it. And then people they get courage. When they borrow the courage from everybody around them, and they'll do stuff in that fixed time period they would never do on their own. And then, like you said at the beginning, Simon, all people need are some wins, and the wins don't have to be money. They don't have to be enrollments. They just have to be somebody that says, all right, I'll listen to this. Tell me more about it. That's a win. That's a big win.
That's a huge win, because the next day you will show up again.
Yeah.
Right? The worst thing to do is try to do too much in one day. Because then you never worked out. You go to the gym, you lift weights for 90 minutes. The next day you can't even move your arms or walk. And you never want to go back again.
Right.
Short sessions, start small, and then the next day you want to show up. And Rich, as long as you keep showing up a little bit each day, sooner or later you'll get it.
Consistency compounds, just like money.
Absolutely. And also the negative compound effect. If you don't do something today, tomorrow you got a little bit worse. And then 2 days from now, a little bit worse. It goes negative too.
Yes, for sure. Simon Chan, you are a treasure. You are a national network marketing treasure. I love listening to you. You got brilliant ideas and strategy, deep wisdom, and an obvious on-fire passion for what we're doing. Thank you so much for sharing today. And I want to encourage any of you that you got $10 a month, you probably get 1,000% annual return on your money for that $10 a month. Go check that out. That's worthwhile. SimonChan.com. What's the other website?
It's actually MLMNation.com or Simon W. Chan. W for winner, my middle name. Actually, W stands for Wei Ming, Chinese name, but you never remember. That's what my mom called me, Simon W. Chan. But go to purposedrivennetworkers.com.
That's it, purposedrivennetworkers.com. Thank you, Simon. I look forward to bumping into you somewhere down the highway of speaking and events somewhere around the world.
Hey, thank you for having me, Richard. It's an honor. And my last message all you out there. Remember, we're in the profession to help others. So go out there, have a positive impact in someone's life today. God bless you all.
Thanks, Simon.